Alright, we're running through Pinwheel Funhouse here. And we're going to try to unlock Spring Bonnie. It's the last one left. I'm hoping that Spring Bonnie shows up soon, because that would be cool. And then I could go to the next thing to do. I'm at 4,598 Faz tokens. Again, when you hit security, though, that's when the tokens start to pile up like crazy. So, yeah. And also, if you win battles and don't just run, that's when you get tokens as well. So, if I run my unlock automation, I'm getting about 15 to 20,000 per unlock fest at the very least, which is great because that just buys like everything you'd ever want. I mean, literally, I think one run of that would just get enough for everything you'd want. Is that right? Because maybe not. If you wanted to buy absolutely everything, well, thanks Reaper. Get some free tokens, I guess. Yeah. You may need more than one run of that then. I should figure that out, actually. Figure out how many tokens you'd need for the whole everything in the game. Unlocking everything, buying everything, that type of thing. Oh yeah, I gotta get all the chips too. I'm thinking of things I have to do here. Really need to do that too. Come on now. Come on, Freddy. Find me some characters. You just need one more. You just need Spring Bonnie. Wow, Spring Bonnie has appeared. I wish those circles changed in location, or kind of like bubbles on the screen. They're kind of like random lens flares all over the place, and some of them actually just are. Like the lens flares inside of those spheres. Those eyeball-looking things. They're watching you. Come on now. Two minutes in, nothing yet. That's fine. Alright. So I'm expecting to have to go through at least maybe another 50 battles to get Spring Bonnie, but we'll see. And that includes the run there. I'm not sure if the odds are affected by how many enemies are in each one. I don't think there is, and it hasn't really seemed to be correlative. I'm holding R. Nope. I'm just going to hold run the whole time, see if that adds to anything at all. Or if I find some crazy bug by doing so. This the most boring part. You just have to wait for the random numbers to be in your favor here. Come on, don't take that one out. Don't take Tangle out. Come on, just run. Come on. Oh. No experience for me. Oh, man. Yeah, you saw the effect that carries over from the last battle. It's interesting. There's no refresh on the attack frames or anything. There really should be a cleanup done at the end of every battle. Like, that shouldn't be a thing. So sometimes you'll see like a bite effect also appear and all that, but whatever effect you did last will show up. Alright, so I've been through, what, like 4 since I mentioned that? At least 50. I'm expecting that. I mean, odds are pretty bad on getting Spring Bonnie. You just gotta play it. You gotta play it enough. I mean, with random, you could also get everyone like right in a row, but the odds of that would be astronomical. But regardless, if you think about it, whatever odds set that you get, each one individually is astronomical as well. Because all the odds combined and all that. For you to get one scenario, there's a 1 in X. So, you know, but you're bound to get some kind of occurrence where there are occurrences. So your odds of getting an occurrence is 1 in 1. It's just whatever one it is dependent on the scope and range of the possible scenarios that you can get. So here, Spring Bonnie, you have a very low chance. But again, we got Nightmare fairly early, so come on, give me Spring Bonnie. No. Just waiting for that one last new challenger has appeared notification. That's it. So, but statistics is a fun subject. I like statistics. I like math. Love physics, all that type of stuff. Just fun to think about and what's been made and why it was made that way. Pretty cool. All the systems work together. Come on now. All right. Come on. Give me a challenger. No. I'm just hoping. So I was on Daco's stream when he was first playing this and wondering how to unlock all the characters, and I gave him some tips. He and Raz were on it. He said he got Spring. He said he got one of those characters. Maybe it was Fredbear, but he got him from one of the caves. I should test that out, see if he wasn't mistaken on that. See if that's possible with the area variable there. I mean, you could get it on the Geist Lair. You can get anyone on the Geist Lair, but I don't know if unlocks are enabled on the Geist Lair though. At least not on update 2. You can run that in update 1. That's where the glitch comes in. If you're kind of floating in the middle of nowhere, but your area variable is 50 instead of 23, I think 26 or 23, 26. Pinwheel Funhouse is 26. One of the Glitch World is 23. Pinwheel Circus is 20. One of the caves I think is 17. I don't know how that would be possible to get an unlock there, unless you were like right on the edge and were glitching into one area. That's possible. Because when you're right on the board or anything is, you could get either one. But I don't know where you would get that from, because you enter into the last cave, last like hidden cave, unless this counts as a cave. You would do that from Pinwheel Circus, and your variable there would be 20. You wouldn't be able to unlock like the last 6 characters. Anyway, something to test. I can set that up with my automation, with the Unlock Fest automation that I have. That's not hard to do. So essentially I can run Unlock Fest in World 4 on Lily Gear Lake and see who all is unlocked there. A better way to do it would be to ignore that altogether. Take the logic that is the unlock formula and run it through millions of iterations in Click Team and see what happens. So see the distribution of all the values that are put out. So you can see that the chances of you getting a certain variable, if you run it enough times, you get a significant enough sample of runs that it will show you essentially the odds plus or minus 0.x%. But you just run it more and more and more and more. You run it several trillion times, you're going to get a very, very close value. Unless your random number generator is just busted, which is also possible. So, like for example, if you are on a system that's not generating the final number in your random count, then all bets are off for that. Then you run it through several trillion times with another system and get the actual value. But if your generator never gives you Spring Bonnie, for example, it will. But if your number generator never gives you Spring Bonnie or the last border condition there, then then your odds wouldn't be as you would have expected them to be on the initial system that's doing a pure random. So I guess, for example, if C# takes a floor of various values, and Click Team takes a ceiling of various values. Click Team's randoms on the same variables could potentially give you one value higher than the C# value, but C# would also give you a value one lower than anything you could ever get in Click Team because it's taking the floor as opposed to the ceiling. So same range of values, but just different results. But if you're running just straight integers, then they're going to be the same values anyway. So depending on whether you're taking a floating point or an integer value there, that's also important. How it's handled and how the rounding is done, essentially. Anyway, still waiting on Spring Bonnie. Spring Bonnie, where you at, though? It's one of my statistics ran here. But important things to think about if you're thinking of random number generation, like how rare do you want each event, and do you want somebody to be more rare than others? It's actually a little clever formula for finding characters, because the later characters are much more rare than the ones in the middle especially, but the ones early on you should have anyway from the early worlds. Very high chance of getting those characters very quickly. Oh, man. Oh, come on now. Where you at, Spring Bonnie? I'm in the right place, by the way. It's just, you just have to be patient with it. It's like fishing. This is like Rapala fishing simulator at this point. Just waiting for fish to show up. Come on now. And again, as you've seen before, you don't have to win a battle to get a random chance at a character here. You just have to get the right number. Man. Sitting at 4,696 Faz tokens. That run strat, though. If you think of each individual occurrence here, every time I exit the battle, I have less than a % chance of getting Spring Bonnie. You think of that every time you approach it. So if you're at the free throw line and you're like, oh man, I'm a 1% free throw shooter. Every time you shoot a free throw, on average, you're making 1% of your shots. Every individual, you're controlling various aspects of your shot, your form, and all that. But you go up there every time, you're like, I'm going to hit 1%. I have a 1% chance of making the shot. How terrible is that mentally? 1 in 100 you'll hit, but at the same time, every time you throw it, there's a 1 in 100 chance of you making the shot. It's horrible. That's what's happening essentially here. It's like 1 in 100 something of getting Spring Bonnie each time. So in this case, it's like that free throw shooter, but even less than a 1% chance of getting that opportunity to see Spring Bonnie. And the funny thing is, too, you could die also. And then if you die to Spring Bonnie, all bets are off. You just have to do it all over again, which is terrible. That's even worse. So you need to bring your A game whenever you get one of these random opportunities. Oh, I was hoping. But you always hope for these. It's so rare. Yeah. That's why I made the automation for the Unlock Fest. Like, I just thought it'd be cool. I'm like, I don't want to waste all this time doing this. I'm sure other people don't either. So let's just make a framework that allows for that. Just runs you through, unlocks the characters. All right, come on now. Man, this might be a long one. I remember each one it's so rare. So rare. That's why people were like, I've spent hours in X location with the Find Characters chip, but I haven't found the character yet. You know, I ran one Unlockfest video, and I didn't have the Find Characters chip equipped. I never found Nightmare, and I never found Spring Bonnie. I ran it for 18 hours. I don't think it's possible to get that without the Find Characters chip, but I might be wrong. But I was 18 hours in, and neither of those two were unlocked. And that makes me wonder about the formula, because there's a ×3 and a ×2 in the formula. Because of that, the chances of you getting Nightmare or Spring Bonnie would put you on an even number, but you have a half a chance of getting an even number. I don't know how. That's where I say I don't know how the decimal point on that, the 10th is handled. There we go. I don't know whether a floor is done or a ceiling is done or a round. A round would just be the same thing as a ceiling there, because it's, well, yeah, because the addition there makes the only possibility a 0.5. Yeah, it says it's, yeah. So I'm not sure which way it would go. I'm hoping every time that it's Spring Bonnie, but yeah, chances are. Glad I got Fredbear though. That's kind of cool. I got this cool screwdriver thingy. I have the scooper on it right now, but it's an interchangeable screwdriver with the nibs inside here, so yeah, it's pretty neat. Cool portable thing to have. It's pencil type size, so I mean, did I double teleport on that? That was weird. I think I did. I double teleported, so I went through here, and then, well, no, maybe I didn't. I came through the other side of the grass on that, I believe. I can watch that in slow-mo. That's why in level design, you never want to put your doors in the same direction as your character is planned to go. You want to put the character in such a way that he won't instantly run through the other door when you run through another, if that makes sense. So you, whoa, what? You heard that, right? Weird. It's almost as if it entered battle, but it didn't. I'm holding the run key right now, but it didn't even show a battle on that. That did a single teleport, so that's good. So yeah, when you walk through that one, you don't want the tent to be on the right instantly, otherwise you just run through it again. That door is meaningless. You have to run, you have to like back into it, but it wouldn't make any sense. But if you look up my video on Vicious Rabbit, yeah, Vicious Rabbit. Man, I made my own direct 3D engine for that, level editor engine, everything, and in Visual Basic 2005. So, man, that was a fun endeavor though. Got me out of kind of a mental funk there too, because just wasn't finding anything on the job front at all. Top of everything, led the student body, everything. Just there's just nothing that fit, and they were looking for, essentially they're just looking for someone else. In every instance, I would get to like the final two, and then they'd be like, oh, well, this person is in this situation, so I'm going with him instead. I'm like, wow, okay. So anyway, God provided a job that pays a whole lot more than what I would have ever expected. So that is cool. It's been a good 3 years. Man, it was a rough 7 years before then, though. Good grief. Oh, man. What a rough time, man. Just thinking about that time. Oh, man. That was bad. It was just so bad. Goodness. Anyway. Waxing long and eloquent here. Waiting for Spring Bonnie. Because Spring Bonnie keeps hiding. Come on, show your rabbit face. I'm running from every battle, too. This is bad. But at the same time, the odds of this is just... It's so minimal. And every time you have the same chance. There's no diminishing odds on this. So I hope you all are doing well. Spring Bonnie isn't doing well. I'm missing in action. 21 minutes of just wandering and running. But we're going for it. We're going to persevere. Come on, give me Spring Bonnie. Give me Spring Bonnie or give me... Oh, don't give me death. Hey, give me liberty instead. Give me liberty or give me Spring Bonnie. Come on now. Whoa, that attack though. What did he hit me with? I was down to 139 on that character. I don't know. Come on now. So basically, if you want to redo FNaF World, create some basic dialogues, create 6 worlds, each of which has 5 characters, some of which are recolors of the old ones. And oh yeah, you got to do the cave ones too. There are some cave areas as well, so do the caves as well. Then add in bosses that are recycles from other games, like Tinker Owl. But Anim Dude is new. Chipper's Revenge is a recycle of Lumberbot 5.0. So, yeah. This is the theme. It's not a hard game to make. Throw in a bunch of perspective objects wherever you want to like make people motion sick. Oh man. You don't have to use a perspective object in everything. The Click Team was built really for these types of games, but mostly the platformers. Really great platforming engine. If you want to make a platformer, just any Mario style game with your own custom animations and all that, it handles it really well. And it usually runs at a smooth 60 unless you're overloading it with a ridiculous number of resources or uncompressed. Like if you think Five Nights at Freddy's 4, that's an example of that with the uncompressed PNGs. Each animation has, what, 15 frames or something like that? Like the jump scares are like 15 frames. I don't think it's 25. I might be wrong on that. I'd have to go back and check. But they're not a lot, but they're uncompressed and they're just big and they take a long time to load on people's computers. So a lot of times if you're on night 5 and it takes forever for those resources to load since there's no compression at all, even if you're on blind mode, it takes a long time for those things to load. That's why you have to flash a flashlight early on in the night or you're doomed, because it's going to register as, oh, you didn't close the door fast enough, but you couldn't because, you know, your image didn't load fast enough. So some people, I believe their computers make it impossible to beat Five Nights at Freddy's 4. You gotta have a monster computer to have the best shot at it. But that's resource management on that. It's a design decision as well, though. I mean, I can understand a designer saying I don't want any compression in my work. I understand that. I can understand that. But from a performance perspective, that's where the discrepancy is, really. Because it needs to perform well on everyone's system that you expect to play, and at least, you know, a standard deviation or 2 out, and preferably 2. So I mean, you have people with, like, you know, potato computers, and they're not gonna be able to play it because they can't run Chrome. But Most people's computers should be able to run this type of stuff. This is very lightweight resource-wise, um, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just stream of consciousness right now because, oh man, it's like a driving adventure. You know, you take a really long drive, and you start to think about just like everything possible and anything, and you get a lot of thinking done. But it's just all stream of consciousness. Just because I'm kind of in that mode right now. You go into zombie mode, it doesn't seem as long a time, so it's kind of a coping mechanism for spending so much time doing something. Spring Bonnie, man. But you know what? From the Unlock Fest, I know that Spring Bonnie will appear. I have everything I need. You just need the Find Characters chip in to go through Pinwheel Funhouse. There's no real amazing way to do this outside of going to Geist Lair at this point. I wonder if you can unlock people from the Geist Lair, but there's no return unless you die or you win. Also, the enemies are ridiculously tough compared to the ones in Pinwheel Funhouse. So I can kind of coast through this one, but Geist Lair, I don't... I mean, they have insta-kill attacks all over the place, and they'll damage you really hard. Also, there's the Toxic Air, which kills you even faster, so... Still waiting. But I think of a lot of design mechanics on software. That's a lot of what I analyze at work. That's what I'm good at. QA and really development. I mean, that's my strength. But I develop to do QA, which is cool. They go hand in hand very well. And it's an added bonus, too, because QAs aren't expected to be great at code, but with someone with extreme coding skills, and it's like, oh, well, you know, he's a QA, but he has these coding skills, like, what a bonus. So it only helps. But it helps you think of the process of testing it, too, because you think, okay, well, how would the developer have implemented this? And you can look at the change sets and the code and determine, okay, this is the path the developer took. Let's see if I can either optimize this or, you know, where are some bottlenecks, that type of thing. You go through the execution plan. I'm not talking about like, you know, electric chair, not like that execution plan, but how things run and where resources are being tied up when something runs, whether it's a query or code or whatever. But it's a nice added bonus to have, and to, you know, to be QA, to be able to test stuff, but also to be able to code and then think analytically through, okay, well, what are some possible shortcomings because of how it may have been coded. So it's cool. A lot of times, too, I will put in a change set to fix something even before I get something back. I'll be like, okay, well, I tested this. Here's where it fails, and I recoded it so it doesn't fail in that spot. That's the extra mile. That should not be expected of any QA, I don't think. But I'll often do that. Oftentimes, too, because like it's something I spotted. I'd rather not just throw it back and be like, okay, well, you know, I know how to fix this. So it's like, here, I just fixed it. Save us all some time and then move on to the next thing, get more work accomplished. It helps from an agile perspective. Kind of an agile methodology allows for that anyway, for the software development life cycle type strategies. So you have agile, where everything goes in a cycle, and then you get client feedback, and then you go in like 2-week iterations and that type of thing. Then you get waterfall, which also has its benefits as well, where, you know, things go in stages, and then, you know, development is complete and everything's done. All right, let's hand it off to QA, and then just go from there. But yeah, each one has its own benefits. People usually come up with frameworks that have at least some benefit to them, but again, there are shortcomings of each one. So waterfall, if you have changes that clients want throughout, it's a little bit harder to implement with that strategy. But if you go just agile, then you keep on adding in work that you weren't planning on at the start of the release because a client has asked for it, and you're like, okay, well, this has a high enough priority that we'll throw it in. So you can have a lot more errors because of that. So QA could miss something if they get something really late, or development could put something in that they really shouldn't for a release. It's just, yeah, you just got to be wise in what you're doing in terms of your methodology. So anyway, Architecture 101, how things are structured and what processes are in place. But you don't really have much say in that from a corporate standpoint. If you're doing development on your own, though, you can do whatever you want. I mean, that's the cool part about it. I like developing stuff just from scratch, whether it's an app or a program or automation or whatever. Automation is just another way of saying a program for Windows. Oh man, you took out 2 of them. I still don't have Spring Bonnie. 30 minutes in. All right. Any day now, Spring Bonnie. Any day now. I wish this had weighted odds where if you unlocked all of the other characters, you had a greater chance of getting the character that's left. Or, progressively, the pool that you're doing random numbers on would decrease based on how many you have had unlocked already. That would be awesome. So say if you had 20 characters to unlock, you have a 5% chance of getting one of them, or whatever you set it as, or 1%. Like, okay, well, you have a 1% chance of getting one of the 20, but once you have 19 left, it's like, okay, well, you have a 1.10% chance of getting one of the 19, and then 1.2 of every 18, or just, some graded scale where the odds increase the more you have so that you're not waiting forever for everyone. That would be really cool. But that is not what's implemented here. It's just a straight up, oh, okay, well, if you get one random number that matches this, then you get an encounter, you get a battle, random battle. Oh, man. So I recorded 12 of these segments, and then, okay, I recorded 3 and then I recorded 9, so I had 12. Now I think this is the third one of the leveling, right? So this will be 3 more, this will be 15. This is 2 weeks after I recorded 4 through 12, so the 9. So coming back to FNaF World, and then this is what I encounter. It's like, I hate this part about it. You just have to sit here and chill out, or just make automation and save everyone time. I could just run the automation overnight and just unlock Spring Bonnie that way, but I'm doing this all straight through without the automation. So just in terms of the unlocking, so I did do the I did unlock Coffee and Spring Bonnie, a Jacko Bonnie with that X key spammer, which was kind of fun. I like that. I like automation. And in that case, the X key spammer it's just essentially like just with keyboard automation. You can do stuff with send keys in C# or Visual Basic. Visual Basic is actually a better framework for send keys, but you can also do input simulator, which actually throws in the actual hardware keystroke, so it interfaces with the hardware instead of just a simulated. And it is a simulated, but it's on a more reliable level for it to actually register every time. That input simulator library is great. I also have a hotkey simulator where I can throw in like a kill switch essentially. If I put F7 on register that as a global hotkey, and that just exits the environment. So environment.exit and then 0. Yeah. So that is the automation for X key spammer. Very simple to do. You just send the keystroke. You send a key down and a key up. But you have to put a threading delay in it as well. So that's the only extra thing. Then you just throw it in a loop, throw the kill switch in, exit whenever you want. The other option is you could just have it so that you just click the stop button on the debug in Visual Studio, and then it'll exit. So yeah, X key spammer took me probably 2 minutes to make. That's really simple. Really simple. I mean, it probably took me just as much time loading it. Nah, not quite that fast. So, I've been thinking too, I probably should get another computer build in mind at some point fairly soon. This one I'm running right now, when did I build it? I think I built this one in 2011. Is that right? It's been several years, but I'm running an i7. It's an i7 2600K, 32 gigs RAM. This thing has 7.5 gigs of storage. That includes a 512 gig SSD. And then I have a 3 terabyte external drive as well, and I have two 2 terabyte platter drives, which of course aren't going to be as fast, but there's nothing wrong with using that for your normal storage. I have a 3 terabyte and a 3 terabyte regular drive, so 7200 RPM. Then I have a 1 terabyte. That's from an old. That was the initial drive I had in here, and then I have a 512 for the OS and a 512 SSD. And that's a setup I have right now. And then I have one that's just an SSD build that's supposed to just be quiet. I wanted that in the recording room when I was doing more Cross Allegiance videos in there, but it had so much echo in there, it just drove me insane. It just sounded bad. It just echo all over the place. So I went up to this room, which you can hear some traffic, but at the same time there's a lot less noise. Much better for recording. Man, this is just low odds city. And one that I built for my parents. That one is an i5. So you're not running these extreme games like FNaF World and Minecraft. I've never actually played through Minecraft. As of this video, maybe I will at some point. My nephew really likes the game. I may play with him some. I built some stuff on a server, like that FNaF rebuild one or whatever, but I kept getting kicked. And I was just like, I'm just building stuff. I don't know if I was violating something, but I built a picture of Scott Cawthon on that one, as well as one of Freddy and one of Foxy. And like no one paid any attention to it, and I got banned for building. So I guess I just wasn't supposed to build. It was called free build. I don't know. Whatever. I appealed the first time. I got reinstated right away. And then I'm just like the second time, just like, whatever. It's not worth it. I don't really care. So anyway, yeah. Thus is life. It's like just less waste of time, I guess. Build it on my own map and then give it out to everyone. That may be better. But people were using all sorts of mods on that. They could like change their brush size, and they're building like these huge things with, instantly had brush size like 20 and stuff like that. So they're building these like ginormous like sculptures. Kind of cool to mess around with at some point, but at the same time, I didn't know what was allowable and not on that server. I guess it just get banned. So I'm like, okay, whatever. That was the first and only Minecraft server I've actually been on. So yeah, maybe I'll add to that by the time this video actually airs. But those builds should still be on there. If you have access to that, you can go see them. Unless they just delete them. They might have just deleted my stuff. I don't know. That was pretty cool. I got a video of the Scott Cawthon one. It looks pretty good. I just would rather do an automated version of that to make it bigger, because I'm not going to sit there and do, 6,000 blocks or whatever. A whole lot less. Just leave it running overnight and it'll pop up with a new one. That's great! Automated is so much better. So I have a semi-automated form of that where it feeds me all the blocks that I need, like one by one. I just kind of iterate through it. That's a whole lot quicker. Let's start going the opposite direction, just for kicks. Chances of Spring Bonnie, low. No credit for that one. You got DDR Nationals coming up here at Rocky Mount fairly soon. Gotta get back in playing shape. I've been playing a little bit. Broke my foot in April, and it's been better since like early June. So I just need to practice. Practice makes better. It doesn't make perfect. I guess in DDR case, practice makes marvelous, maybe. It used to be perfect, but they added another judgment type that's, you know, more strict than perfect. So a subset of perfect, which would be marvelous. So a new mix came out in Japan and really just all of Asia, where the timing window is clearly bigger, and everyone's saying that too. Everyone's getting ridiculously higher scores. And the question is, you know, did you fix the polling rate issue? Did you improve the hardware or what? There could have been some elements of that, but everyone over there is just saying the windows are just way bigger. And people's scores are showing that as well. So I have 92 Marvelous Full Combos right now, and I got them before this mix. I'm just waiting for this mix to come out. Lacking a lot of motivation to play until that comes out, because it's like, if it's going to be harder to Marvelous Full Combo something by a factor of 10 or more now, then why don't I just wait and then not waste my time? Just wait until the next mix that has the easy mode. Easy timing mode. Fine with that. Should have been like that initially, I guess, but unless they just widened the window, which I think this is just what they did. Effectively they did, but I'm not sure what they did in terms of the modification of the windows. But there were a few who like, I posted about that. I call it the Steph Curry mix because it's just like this huge hoop. But people who went over to Japan and played on it and kind of had their scores to defend were the only people who really had anything to say like that. So it makes me think, okay, well, I'm pretty sure this is a wider window. I mean, you can hear the steps too. The steps of people aren't getting much better at all, if at all. May even be getting worse because there's a wider window to, you know, that adds allowance for you to step. Ah, man. Come on, Spring Bonnie. Any minute now. I gotta turn the air conditioner on soon, otherwise I'm gonna be baking tonight. Cause that light over there, that's hot. And I got the monitor over here that's running, so I can keep the work situation monitored. We have an item that was thrown at me Thursday afternoon, and it's Saturday right now, and it hasn't worked at all in this old code base, like the current release. It works great on the new code base that we have coming out in like August. We really should wait until August, and that's what I'm pushing for. It's just, it doesn't work on the old code base. But I'm waiting on that because everyone's trying to push for it because of the benefit it would get, but there's no way to... We're supposed to deploy to production early next week, so I'm going to come back and I have to fill in for the manager again and handle all that. I'm like, okay, well, this item's not passing, so either you get it to work in the old code base or it's not going to go out. So I wish we could get it out, but at the same time, if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Works great on the new version. So we should just wait until the new version. That's all it is. Man, so much waiting for Spring Bonnie. I'm gonna turn the air conditioner on. What? What was that? thing's glitching. Starting to hallucinate on this. It looked like a cupcake. I was like, oh, it's a cupcake. Nope. Kind of does look like a cupcake though. All right, I'm gonna start the next video. No spring bonnie yet. But anyway, I apparently can't run from this red bear. There we go. All right. I'm gonna turn the air conditioner on because I am hot, and if I don't turn it on now, we got the hottest part of the day here. It's gonna be really ridiculously baking in here if I don't turn it on now. All right, I'll check y'all later. Peace. God bless.